Got another solve analysis. This week we got sfcuber 5x5. Everyone loves 5x5 now. It's the real 5x5 year. 207 average. Best part of the solve centers, first and last two. Interesting. Edges, not last four, is his worst part of his solve. He's been cubing for 3 years, and he practices 7 to 14 hours a week, so pretty serious, but not like crazy. So also 3 years is also pretty serious, but not crazy. So pretty middle of the pack solver here. 207 is pretty solid. Obviously a lot of work to be done, but you know. And yep, that's it. So let's go ahead. We'll just jump right into it. Looks like we got that hand scramble action here. Already noticing some inaccurate turning. Just like if you're turning the cube just like willy-nilly, your turn should be pretty smooth. Already looks like you're locking up a little bit. How do you improve your times? Practice. Alright, just something I saw right here. We're doing orange. Okay, so does it get better in this? You said it's the second, third solve gets better. Okay, it's okay. We'll figure it out. So we're doing orange, and there's a couple things I want to notice here. Alright, so first thing I'm going to notice, this is a big kind of overarching thing that we're going to talk about. There are two distinct ways that you can solve your centers. For 5x5, there are bars. So you make one bar in red, you make a second bar, you make your last bar, you made all 3 bars. Second way to do it is to do 2x2s. You make a 2x2 corner here. So usually it starts like this, make a 2x2, finish off your 2x3, and then you make your last bar just like you would. And so no matter how fast you are, I think as soon as you can comfortably solve a 5x5, I think it's important to be able to really, this is so fundamental for 5x5 centers, because really this is the only thing to it. There's either bars or 2x2s. And I'd really recommend immediately starting to think about doing 2x2s. It might slow you down a little bit, but I think there's no bad time to start being comfortable with 2x2s. So if you notice during inspection, we got right here, we have one move, and we have an orange 2x2. This is what you should be looking for in your first move. This orange 2x2, a 2x2 is 4 solid pieces, and a bar is only 3, so a 2x2 is going to be better than a bar. That's what I'd recommend first. Second thing right here is, so given the fact that we're doing bars, we're just going to assume we're doing bars for the rest of the analysis. It's not too big of a deal. So we do the first move, and we got a full bar. So, and then, okay, so I think he saw these. Okay, so never mind. He did see a little bit towards the second bar, so that's good. I like that. If you're at 2 minutes and you're planning your full first bar and part of your second, that's fine. It's a good state to be in. A little tough to see here, but okay. So, this is just another thing. In this case, it just looks like he's just gonna be doing bars the entire time, which is really gonna hurt him, because bars are not like, I don't know, I use them both like so much. So although, okay, so a couple inefficiencies right here. So right here he's got to take, oh whoops, shoot, he's got to, right here he's got to take out this blue corner, and what he's got to do is he's got to put it in this face first. Doesn't really matter where. And so what he does is sfcuber does RU2 R prime, but he didn't need to do the U2. You can just do a U prime in that case, and it saves you a move. That just looks like something that you've been told. Oh, you do RU2 R prime, and it pulls it out, which is correct, but you can cancel it because you're only worried about that one blue corner. So you don't need to waste moves if you don't have to. That was strange, but alright, I'll mention this again. I'll only mention this one once. So you're doing your flip algorithm like this with your left index. You gotta switch to thumb. Thumb is gonna, like, it's not hurting you too. You're doing it pretty quick and your rotations are quick, but you gotta switch to thumb. You can do it forward or backwards, it doesn't really matter, but you gotta be using your thumb. Keep your left thumb on the centerpiece at all times. Just a big thing for all big cubes. Same with that insert, you're just using your left index for... pretty much just you're using your left index for F turns pretty much every time. Alright. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing pure slice flip slice for last 4 at this point. That's perfectly fine. What color are you doing? Oh, it's orange cross. Oh, white. You only do orange and red on 3x3. Okay. It's a very interesting angle, but okay. Ooh, use your learn art. Well, you don't really need to at this point. Anyway, so 218. Okay. So the biggest thing I'm gonna note on, there's a lot of. I was noticing this the whole time during edge pairing. So this is just gonna be a killer habit. This is a habit I had for like most of my cubing career, and I still have it. Like I can't really quite completely kick it, which is bad. But so when sfcuber is looking for pieces, if he's looking for this last blue and yellow piece, what he does U, D, 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 until he sees it. In this case, it's over here, but like, he's doing moves to find his pieces. He's doing moves. He's essentially doing U's and D's to put new pieces where he's looking. When in reality, what you should be doing is you should be like doing quick glances like this. The big thing when you're looking for edges is don't do moves unless you know they're the correct moves and you know they're gonna do something. So in this case, like you're looking for the green and orange, green and yellow. All right. Alright, it's right here. Now that we know where it is, we're going to do moves. Don't do moves just because you want to do moves, just like you want to feel like you're moving. It's like a really easy trap to fall into, and one that I fell into myself like as a young cuber, and I still am pretty bad. Like I'm still one of the worst top cubers at doing moves when there's nothing, like I'm not actually doing anything. But it's just a really bad habit to have, and really something you want to stop like as soon as possible. So I think he scrambles on tape. Oh wait, no, 1 second. Alright, here we go. Okay. Just a quick hint for this specific case. Like you don't do it yet, but I was just gonna give you a hint for when you do eventually see it, because you're doing bars only for your first. The biggest thing right now for centers, you're doing bars only. That's gonna kill you. You had this case right here. When you see this and you have one of these centerpieces, you can make a quick 2x2 like this. Just a good tip to have. Let's see, sfcuber is not saying anything. Alright. Just a mistake there, it's okay. Okay, so here's another trick. It seems like you aren't aware of this. Oh, whoops, my bad. I forgot to switch the session, but nothing actually happened. I was watching stuff. So sfcuber runs into another thing that this is another case that is really nice to be aware of. So this is called the T case. So say you're in this position and you have this T right here. So what sfcuber would do in this scenario is he'd use both of these corners and he'd like match up these and then he'd match up these, which works. But this T case right here, I made a Tuesday tip about it a while ago, but this edge piece right here, 1, 2, 3, boom, 2 bars. Really nice case. I actually learned this from Dan Cohen in like 2010 or something. Like, definitely use this case. Really good thing to know. It's useful at any speed. That and doing 2x2s are like some of the most important like fundamentals of 5x5 center building. Completely like that's like super true. So in this position, you can clearly see that sfcuber was looking for one edge piece, but there was another complete edge like sitting there. I don't think it's too big of a deal at this speed to like not be scanning the cube for everything. I think it's fine that like you're gonna focus on one piece. In general, though, kind of try and be looking for other pieces. But at this stage, it's like pretty advanced, and just kind of keep that in mind. But not a huge deal. Oops, didn't do all 4 edges. Yeah, things are done last 4, but it's actually not. But works out. Oh, accidentally has parity twice. He's gonna have another parity. But also, so for last 4, sfcuber is doing slice up, slice only. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. Something like doing cycles or fancier slice up, slice is pretty advanced. Something you might want to think about when you're closer to like 130, 140 range. But and also, not knowing your last 2 edge cases also not that big of a deal. Something else you want to think about when you're about 130, maybe 120, like knowing all of them for sure. Attempting to do M slices though, I'm not a fan of. Yeah. Oh, you do know the T case. Well, you didn't use it when it was the option, so I assumed you didn't. Alright, here we go. Solve 3. Wait, which center is he doing? Very interesting. Alright. Yeah, there's like definitely some better options there, which you'll notice like if you're constraining yourself to only doing bars, especially when you're going inside to outside only. So sfcuber is only doing inside to outside bars. So that's like really constraining in terms of what your options are, and you're gonna be missing a lot of better options, but I kinda already went over that. So because like in every time he'll do the middle bar first, and then he'll do the second bar and then the third bar, no matter what. It's also a little hard to see what's going on the bottom of the cube, but that was good though. In this case, he built 2 bars at the same time on the last 2 centers, so that was good. Also, just the TPS and the flipping algorithm here is very quick. Like, I'm very confident you're not. Like right now, it's not like flipping algorithms are such a small part of your solve that it's not a big deal. But you're gonna want to do your TPS. Like those short bursts of TPS aren't really just doing anything for you. They're maybe cutting like 1/10 of a second each one, which is in the grand scheme of things for the solve isn't that much. And they're really gonna hinder you when you get faster and you're not used to scanning for pieces during all the moves that you're doing. Definitely try and want to slow those down. Similar to this, there's more of a fluid action, and try and like look at the pieces that you're turning. You don't even need to be tracking them. Just kind of be like, make sure you know which pieces are which. Like you're doing your flipping algorithm like probably faster than I would do in a real solve if I'm like flipping at the proper speed. Also, another thing I noticed, similar to the U and D moves, to look for edges. Oh, okay. Here's one thing. So similar to the U and D moves, to like look for edges. When you're scanning for edges, you're doing a lot of U. I see a lot of also this Y stuff. This is also unnecessary. It's the same thing as doing U and D. Just scan kind of like this. You barely need to see any of the cube. Like, see this is orange and white. You just gotta go like this real quick. Just enough to see the orange. Or just go like this, or do a Y2, but don't do this. This is like really bad. And don't do U's. But yeah. Also, so for last 4, you got to last 4, and you needed to do a flip. One sec. So you were on the last 4 and you had a case like this where this one needed to get flipped, and you did a flip to flip it, but on last 4 you can just do an R2 and then do a U2. Because R2 now will flip it, but now you have to do a U2, that's fine. Just do an R2 instead of the flip in place. Flip in place is really inefficient, and just go ahead and do the R2 instead. Alright. Putting all the stuff here. Not a fan of those M slices, but oops. Not a fan of those M slices here, but He's doing M slice Z perm, which is just really pretty risky on big cubes in general. Wouldn't recommend it if you know your RUs, but all right. So this is a good scramble for him because he's already got that blue middle bar. I'm assuming he's going for blue. What? Okay, red was okay also. That's okay. All right. Good stuff. Alright, I'm fine with green. Green's fine. So in this, that's kind of tricky. I don't know. You could, like, no, think about it. There's no reason to. Alright, that was good. Oh, so this is good. So I like this. Some spurts of higher knowledge right here. So in this case right here, this is 3 moves, and then you get to 2 bars. So, and he does it, so that's good. Really like that. It's good to notice when you have those easy cases. Same right here, does the same thing. Good. I said same right here before I even saw him do it. I just kind of assumed he would. But alright. Yeah, the D's again. The rotations are, I don't like rotations. I don't like the left and right rotations or the U's and D's. You want to do a Y2 or flip the cube over. Nothing wrong with that. I just don't like the U's and the sideways rotations. Alright. I think I'm pretty sure sfcuber is putting all 4 edges on bottom at first on purpose. I think this is really good if you're starting out 5x5, 6 or 7. Obviously, it's going to help you a lot. I definitely highly recommend it. I wouldn't drop it on 5x5 until you're about 110, maybe 115. Maybe you can honestly do it until you're sub 1 if you really wanted to, but I don't think that's the best idea. You should drop it for sure by the time you're 105, but like I think it's a great idea, and I like the fact that he's doing this here. It's good stuff. Y2 is the side. I don't like doing the Y's. I mean, do Z's or something. I think I've been over most of the stuff here. A lot of the issues here are more broader things. I mentioned. Well, look, we'll watch the last one, of course. Oh, when did the solve start? Here we go. Red is first. All right. All right. Easy start there. Nice. It's the turning just feels very choppy in general. Like it's very common. It's a very common issue. Just it's very fast turning and then no turning and then very fast turning and then no turning. Right here, this is just a thing for centers. You'll notice. It's just kind of a habit that you probably built. So right here, there's nothing. You're on your M slice, and the only thing solved is an orange bar on the back. And right now you do this. You made this white bar, and then you put it to the right, and then undid your L move. This is completely unnecessary because you didn't actually. There's nothing you're messing up with this L move. Like that's if you had a full center already solved, then yeah. But like in this case, you didn't. So just kind of like that's just kind of like a muscle memory thing. Like oh, whenever I make this edge, I always put it back. And that's just not always necessary. It's really good to be kind of aware of that stuff. Alright, alright. Red and white, green and white. Yeah, these Y's. Just do a Z2. Z2. Yeah, so I think he's trying to keep all the edges in the same U face, which makes it easier to do all first 4 on the U face, but I don't know. When I was doing 4 edges on the same face, I never did that, and I think it worked out just fine. I would just do Z2s a lot, which I don't know. It has its pros and cons, but it makes it easier to recognize and stuff. Obviously, it's not like something I think about anymore. I haven't done that. I dropped doing 4 edges even on 7x7 like a couple years ago, so it's been a while. Okay, good. I was going to point out if you didn't do the MU2 M prime. Alright, I like this, yeah. MU2 M prime and slice up slice is key to have in your arsenal. Slice up slice and MU2 M prime, all you need really until you get 130, 140. Then it might be worthwhile to start thinking about some basic cycles working in, just kind of to get familiar with them. But was that EPROM or something? That was weird. It was a weird last. Alright, so this one didn't have as much specific stuff going on because most of it was very broad. So I'm going to quickly go over like everything I saw. Centers, the #1 biggest thing is 100% the... Right now you're only doing inner bar, outer bar is the only options you have right now. You need... The biggest thing for centers is 100% going to be 2x2. Learn to do the 2x2 into 3x2. There's tons of patterns for this. There's probably some Tuesday tips videos on it as well. Tons of patterns for noticing quick 2x2s. All sorts of stuff going on. Doing bars is going to be good a lot of times, but being able to switch between which one's the best is 100% necessary, and it's not very advanced. 2x2 thing for centers. Also that T trick, you said you knew, so not a big deal, but just something to make sure. Just kind of watch out for things going on. Edges, the biggest thing for sure is... Oops, should have saw them, but... The biggest thing on edges is going to be... let me... So I have to mess around with my Z2 naming conventions or whatever. Whatever these names are. Alright, so for edges, the biggest thing is when you're looking for edges, don't be doing this, don't be doing this, don't be doing this. If you need to find an edge, it's okay. Just do this, this, this. sfcuber says he can do 2x2s, I just do bars more often. Okay, well, it's good that you already know how to do 2x2s, but I just kind of assumed you didn't because I never actually saw it in 5 solves. And honestly, I think I do 2x2s more than bars. And there were dozens of cases where 2x2s were certainly the better option. So definitely something you want to be on the lookout for. They're really good, and they're not like... They seem like they're bad because you're not building as many pieces, but the thing is they're like usually already like half made for you, or like they're essentially just like already done and stuff. So that's kind of why they're nice, is because like they're just hanging out right there waiting for you to use them. But so yeah, edges, don't be doing U's and D's or Y's. If you need to find a piece, do a Z2. And I really like the fact that you're doing all 4 on the same side. That's very good. Keep that up. Doing a Z2 and then doing another Z2, not the end of the world. It's going to be a lot more helpful in terms of finding your pieces and building good habits rather than doing U's and D's and doing a lot of unnecessary moves. Last 4 edges I thought were pretty solid. Slice up slice, nothing wrong with that. You showed that you can use MU2 M prime when it presents itself, so continue doing that. Maybe when you drop another 20-30 seconds, you can think about some basic cycles or something. The only thing I noticed on last 4 is if you need to flip an edge on last 4, just do an R2 instead of doing the actual flip in place. An R2 and then do a double move instead of a single move. Definitely going to be faster there. Other than that, overall, kind of the turning was, as I mentioned, really choppy. A lot of fast turns and then pauses. Again, like I mentioned this before in a lot of videos, you want to be able to track your pieces while you're doing turns. So, like I do the flip at like this speed probably during real solves. And honestly, you were flipping faster than me. Like in a real solve, you were flipping faster than I would do a flip in a real solve, and that's probably presents a problem because I flip at a certain speed so I can track all the pieces during the flip. It's valuable recognition time. Right now, it's not going to be a big deal to you, but in the long term, down the road, it's going to be a super big help that you kind of flip at a more reasonable speed and you just do everything kind of more controlled as opposed to like really antsy. Really common mistake, not a big deal, but that's just something that I also did back in the day. And yeah, so those are kind of all the big things to work on. Really just mostly like, really at this point, pretty much everything to work on is kind of focusing on incorporating large changes, getting your fundamentals really down. I don't really think there's any specific tricks or really tips and tricks at this point. Really aren't anything I'd really even be thinking about. Really just think about those fundamentals I was talking about, and that'll take you at least another 20-30 seconds drops. So, yep.